Hello guys and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we'll be talking about DeFi pools and how to make the most out of these DeFi pools. We'll also be looking at some of the percentages that are available on the market. So what I'll be focusing mainly on is the one for Hoswap, which is the BSC version of Hoswap. Hoswap is the DEX for Halo Network, but now they have a Binance Smart Chain version of it, which we'll be looking at and look at some of the juicy APIs and APIs on the pools there, and maybe look at taking advantage of them. So it's kind of been a really, really crazy ride lately with all the happenings and all the drama about the way Luna cascaded and crumbled. But today we are going to be looking at how to make the most. There are a lot of risks. There are a lot of things people don't understand about DeFi pools. We'll be talking about some of these risks, and we'll be looking at how to mitigate them and how to understanding these risks. Most of the problem many people have is that they do not understand the risk involved. So let's dive right into it. So what I'll be talking about, I'll be showing you guys how to calculate your possible returns. It's not usually very accurate. Most of the time it falls within that range because the pool kind of varies. And it's usually very early. It's very great when you're early in the pool because you get a high rewards before the pool gets really, really dense and filled up with a lot of other funds. So when the pool is less dense, you kind of get will I say, a large part of the rewards that are attached to those pools. So it's very, very interesting because for Halo Network, the Hoswap-bsc version, they're giving a HBG, which is a different token from the HOS, which is their DEX governance token. So it is an opportunity for you to earn. One thing about DeFi farming when it comes to looking at some of these pools is some of the time when you look at pools that you receive different tokens other than the DEX tokens, most of the time those tokens go ahead to do very well, and you tend to make a lot of money in the long run if the project does survive. Some people prefer to sell their assets as soon as they farm them. So you have to choose which works for you. That's all I have to say, because I cannot tell you. You might choose to hold on, and maybe the token doesn't do well or the project doesn't do well. So you have to be able to take those decisions by yourself. So Halo Network has been building. It's been an interesting project. They are getting closer to a year. I think they have done the 1 year anniversary. Yeah, they have. It's been 1 year and it's been very, very interesting. So right now we'll be looking at some of the pools they have, and I'll be showing you guys how to calculate your possible APR and your possible return. So let's dive right into it. So we'll be talking about I would like to, so how to make the most of the pipe. So APR and APY. So most of the time you can use Google to get some of the things you need. Most of the things are out there, although there are less knowledge about DeFi and the rest of them. So APR, annual percentage yield. APR is annual percentage rate. So what makes them different is if you are studying mathematics or even economics, the basics, you have a simple interest or compound interest. So APY looks at compound interest. You kind of look at the compound interest. Why APR is kind of daily, your return is fixed, but depending on your initial investment, not the accrued investment. APY looks at the accrued investment. Assuming you put this here, percentage yield. Percentage weights. So assuming you have 800, let's say $100, and you put it in a pool. Assuming the percentage of the pool after calculation, you find out that daily you're supposed to get 10% every day. So assuming you have $100, say $100, and you're putting your money into this pool and say return daily is 10%. So assuming you're putting, assuming the pool is an APY pool, on the first day, you're going to have 10% of $100, which is $100, which is $10. You have you have extra $10 attached to your pool size, like to what you have, your assets in that particular area. Not necessarily that the returns that you found will go into the pool, they actually have a particular, I'm looking for the word here. They are different. They don't go back into the pool. It just says the size of what you have in that protocol. So it increases to $110. Now, APY will calculate $110 and give you for what you get the next day, which would roughly amount to $111. 121. This is 120 because $11 now, and 10% should be roughly $1.1. No, $11. That should be 11. That should be $11. That's correct. So you add it up, you have $121. So it's kind of keep adding this way, but APR will just give you 10% daily of what you put in the pool. So when you put $100 every day, at the end of the day, what's in that particular pool, what's your contribution in that pool, will be calculated and given to you. Not everything in the pool. You get not all your assets in that protocol at that particular point in time. So I guess you got to understand, kind of get the understanding behind it. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for everyone to understand, even people that have been in DeFi, you've not staked before, and the rest of that. So now there are risks attached. Maybe a lot of you have heard of DeFi and the rest of them. There's what we call impermanent loss. So impermanent loss is something that a lot of people need to understand. That's why when you pull out your funds from your pool and you're like, yeah, it's what less than is what it's supposed to be, that you put so amount, you put $50 worth of this into this, 50 tokens, and now they are less, Impermanent loss happens when you provide liquidity to a liquidity pool and the price of your deposited assets changes. So when the price of your deposited asset changes, relatively, because the pool is made in such a way that it has to balance each other. So I don't want to get into the hit bits and everything, but that's how it is. The pool is supposed to balance out. So when you provide two tokens, it's supposed to be in a rate of 50-50. So when people buy one asset over the other, it's going to cause the pool to have some kind of imbalance, and one token will be more than the other one will be less dense, while the other one will be more dense as trading happens. So if you take your liquidity out of the pool during the time that this shift has happened, you will incur what we call impermanent loss. So there are ways that you can actually calculate these impermanent losses. You have the impermanent loss calculator by dailydefi.org. You'll be able to use it to calculate what your impermanent loss would actually look like. So when you put the initial prices before you enter the pool and future prices, the places you expect the tokens to be, it will show you the impermanent loss. So let's look at some kind of calculation. Assuming I want to provide a token, say token A, maybe it's at $20. We say let's say a $4, and the second token is at maybe say $10. So the future price, assuming in the long run, token A gets to $5 and token B gets to say $20, 100% there. So your impermanent loss is 2.72%. That's if $500 of token A or $500 of token B were held, you would have 125.00 token A and 50 of token B. The value is 100. It kind of gives us a full explanation. The value is 1,625. This is if you held. Then for putting it in the pool, you will have 1.581 the value for your liquidity. Now you find out that if you holding becomes more profitable. That is why most of these DeFi protocols kind of incentivize you to and gives you rewards for actually taking this risk of impermanent loss to help fund their pools. So let's not make it too long. So I believe this calculator will help do justice to impermanent loss and the things that you might actually encounter. So now I'm going to be visited via, I'll be sharing the links to all these protocols in the description below. So this is bsc hoswap.halo.land. So this is the LP pools. So I'm going to be looking at some of the juicy APYs, man, I'm seeing 4 digits, 6 digits, 5 digits, man, it's kind of crazy. So most of the time, most of the pools that have high returns kind of have high risks. But looking at everything here, I believe it's kind of interesting. It's good to be early, especially the less dense pools. So we have the whole USDT pool, which already has $1 million in it. So it's kind of a solid protocol. Then we have the whole HOS, which has $4 million. That's close to $5 million actually right there. So I see a lot of opportunity. So there's kind of a lot of kind of good liquidity. Yeah, compared to a lot of other protocols here. That's a good liquidity. We're talking about $6 million here just for those two. So now we'll be looking at I like high APYs, because when you tend to use high APYs to when you put your tokens in high APY pools, you tend to get a lot of tokens, you get a lot of rewards. So we're going to be filling out this whole field pool, and I'm going to show you guys how to go about it. The same process goes for other pools. Just you gotta make your choice and you put the tokens where you wish. Always use what you can afford to lose when it comes to crypto. We saw what happened to Luna. Yes, a lot of projects are doing something to prevent such from happening, but this is a show. This is a proof that it can all go to zero in some cases. So you have to always manage your risk appropriately. So we're going to looking at this pool. It's kind of the highest right now, and I want to take advantage of it. This pool is less dense, though. From the Medium article, I implore you guys, I'm going to draw the description to the Halo Network Telegram group. You gotta join the Halo Network Telegram group, and you'll have to follow and understand what's going on and ask questions if you have any questions. So they have the Medium article that show the amount of tokens allocated to each pool daily, sorry. So looking at this pool is less than $3 million liquidity. The more liquidity that comes in, the lesser the APR. So most of the time when I put into pools, as the pool gets more dense, I kind of want to shift my strategy to another pool that has less density and more APR so that I can compound. So let's go into the calculations. So now I have 83,220,000%. So how would I know how much I would earn a day, daily? So now I'm going to be using my calculator. So calculator here. So I'm going to be using my calculator to actually calculate how much I'm going to earn daily. So most of we have 365 days and we have 366 days. So when you annual percentage, so I try to use 366 because there are more numbers. In the long run, you can be lesser or a little bit above, but it shouldn't be more than 10% most of the time if the pools are correct. So if I provide liquidity for home, okay, let me put that right here. So I have 83,000. Let me put this down. 83,220 now divided by 366. So that will give me 227%. This is crazy. This is absolutely mind-blowing. So that's just basically it. This is what I stand to get every day if I have assets in this pool. I'm going to get 227% daily. So I'm going to, this is what it's supposed to be. Maybe if my 200, it might be lesser, it might be higher. It all depends on a whole lot of things, you know. So that's just it basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to fill in this pool. This pool is kind of more kind of different from other pools because you have field which has less liquidity on this place. So that means you have to get the FI token from somewhere else. So I'm going to be getting the FI token from PancakeSwap. I know a lot of you know about PancakeSwap. I'll be also leaving the description, the link to PancakeSwap. Always check properly the links because a lot of hackers and a lot of scammers are trying to. That's why you have this one in here. Please make sure you're visiting PancakeSwap for finance because a lot of scammers are trying to replicate these pages. And when you connect, they answer your seed phrase and all that stuff. So first thing first, I'm going to get the FIL token, FIL. The FIL token. So this should be what I'm looking for right here. So I import So I add, and I import. So I have the file token. So the file is a very, very interesting project. They are into decentralized storage and the rest of them. So you kind of maybe want to look into them. Quite an interesting project as it is. Most people look at it as a blue chip. Well, that's not what we are here. So I want to swap. I have some USDT and BUSD. So, okay, you know, the pool has to be 50-50. The pool has to be 50-50. So you have to divide the assets into two places. So I'm going to be I'm going to make use of $100 for providing this. Let me look at my assets that I have here. So USDT, so I have approximately 160, roughly that amount. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 80 for each side. Let me use BUSD. I'm going to use all the BUSD to get some file token. So swap that and swap. So I wait for it to get my wallet. So now I have like $30 of this. So I'm gonna add like $50 extra and see how it's all gonna come up. Let's see. So you must have learned how to configure a MetaMask by now. So you just connect to MetaMask. And so kind of all. So now I'm connected. I'm supposed to get the pop-up, so that's what I'm waiting for. Wait a second. To refresh the page. Seems kind of slow. Not sending the transactions to my wallet, so I'm going to try again. Let me first swap to USDT. Let's see what happens. Then divide from what's left to get my file token. So I'll wait for the transactions to pull through. I think that transaction is now successful. So we now have 159 tokens. So we're looking at 78 to 79. Yeah, let's call it 79 tokens. So I'll get my file back. My DeFi back. So I'm actually doing this because there's less liquidity on Hoswap right now for FAR tokens. So that's kind of the reason why I'm buying from PancakeSwap. I will buy the BSC hold from Hoswap to kind of help incentivize the LP guys there. They earn some fees from the transaction because every transaction has a liquidity provide fee. So it's kind of something that is general. So kind of a way to incentivize everyone to provide liquidity. So I kind of make this as quick as possible. So I know that the transaction will go through. So I will go over to Hoswap. It's kind of interesting interface in the end. I move on to trade, exchange. So what I want to do now is I want to swap USDT to select currency. For our token. No, not found. That's not found yet. Looking for whole token. So the cosmic token is out. So there's a lot of good things about Halo Network. The ecosystem is kind of growing slowly. We have the Red Ruby DAO, Red Ruby DAO, and other projects coming up. So you kind of want to keep an eye on them because most of the time it's all about being early. You have to be really, really early these days. Because most of the time when you're late, you tend to miss out on all the good stuff. So I have my FAR tokens now. Kind of slow. Let's see. Refresh the page. Okay. I think this should be better now. Connect my wallet. Yeah, we're back. So kind of maybe minus maxed out 79, just like we had on the other end. Okay, come on. We're back. That's 22 whole. Confirm swap. So while we wait for it to send the transactions to our wallet. Kind of waiting for you to pull up the nonce. If that's accurate, because I kind of know the number of transactions I've made so far. So wait for it to up. So that's done. The swap has been completed. So I head over to liquidity. So first thing you have to do is to provide liquidity. So I click on add liquidity, select currency. I have the transaction has not gone through yet. Okay, now it's gone. So I max it out. So because I know I max that out. Yeah, now the contribution amount actually, the way they can add liquidity depends on the price on the pool. You know, the way the pool is balanced, it kind of tells you. Right now, it's saying that I need more file to actually complete this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch max to this area. So I'm going to enable file. So you need some BNB for all these transactions. So you got to maybe some amount. $10 would be enough, or even less. So $10 just in case you have not used any of these protocols before, because you would sign a lot of transactions before you were able to swap. So Okay, now I'll be owning 3% of the pool, which is not bad for every dollar, 160. So you're owning 3% of the pool. Good reward. So let me supply this, confirm the supply. Confirm this in your wallet. Just hope you are seeing the wallet because most of the time it's not captured. So most of you use a MetaMask wallet, starts to be configured to the Binance Smart Chain. If you are not yet on the Binance Smart Chain, you use CHAINLIST.org, CHAINLIST.org. So on CHAINLIST.org, you will be able to add all the mostly EVM blockchains to your MetaMask. So you just type which blockchain you want to add to your wallet, then you have it. You just click on Connect Wallets. It asks for authorization. You give the authorization and it asks you to add to your wallet. You add to your wallet. Kind of easy peasy. Kind of simple. I'm just saying this just in case you've not seen something like this. I don't want to add this blockchain to my wallet right now. So this is basically how it is. Okay, let me add an Metis Andromeda to this wallet just to show you guys how it works. So this is how basically most of them. You click on next, you click on connect. Once you have connected, you click on add to MetaMask. It will ask for to notify you. Then you authorize the whole transaction. Trying to make this video as less bulky as possible. So can bear with me. So this is just it. I've added Metis. So it's kind of asking me to switch back because Hoswap is asking me to switch back to BNB, so that's how most of them are designed. So what I'll do, since I've already provided liquidity, I would now go over to the LP pools. So this is where I'm going to be adding my LP tokens to earn some cool stuff. Yeah, the pool is dwindling as it is, kind of down. I guess a lot of people are finding out about it. So let's see. Okay, switch network. Okay, I guess it's trying to confirm the transaction or something. Let me refresh the page, but it's kind of sad, you know. I would have gone for the whole HOS pool. You know, all the same, not bad, but not bad at all. I just wonder what will happen when the pool comes more dense. So I'm expecting, say, maybe since we've halved the value we had before, 100% every 24 hours. That's how it's supposed to be by design. That's just by design, but of course, most of the time it kind of, you know, fluctuates. Not usually the same thing, basically. Changes from time to time, depending on the weight of the pool, price of the assets that you're earning. You know, all those actually play a big role. Play a very, very big role. I think I will enable this. Okay. So he says that my funds have been staked in the farm. So I've joined the pool. Yeah, my size is not sized normally. So that's kind of the pool didn't actually really move. You know, it kind of doubled. We had $3,000 before. Now we have $6,000. You can kind of know about this. So I'll be sharing this with all the links in the description. Thanks for watching to the end. See you in the next video. Kindly like and subscribe the video and subscribe to the channel. Sorry, I'll be sharing more content on my channel about staking, about earning, about most of the pools I find creative, etc. So see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.